James Tito, Deputy Finance Director.
Jennifer Renfro, Cass County Finance Director.
Sarah Jones, Jeremiah's wife.
Amy Giraffe.
Isha Kirkland, HR Assistant.
Beth Bailey, HR Director.
Jake Young, Cass County Conservation District Executive Director as of yesterday.
Cree Kraus, Veterans Director.
Jeff Van Bell, Drain Commissioner.
Samuel Brewer, new commissioner.
Jackie Taylor, County Administrator's Office.
Scott Lyman, Director of Parks.
Clint Roach, Under Sheriff.
Bob Thompson, Roads. R.J. Lee, County Commissioner-elect, District 8.
Mary Howie, County Commissioner, District 5.
Erica Espling, GIS Director, Cass County.
Ambrose Ronaldo, Marketing and Communications Manager.
Dave Reed, Facilities Director.
Ron Webster, Animal Control Director.
Karen Benjamin, wife of Robert.
Zachary Benjamin, son of Robert.
Christy Benjamin.
Richard Gerbeth, supervisor before Robert Benjamin, who was supervisor after me, and private citizen now.
And Hope Anderson, County Treasurer.
Thank you all for your attendance. Public comment. The floor is open for public comment. Floor is open for public comment? Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Richard Gerbeth. I live at 31810 Redfield Street in Milton Township, the Niles address. Thank you. In 1985, my wife and I bought a very rundown farm on Redfield Road in Milton Township, and for 37 years we've been restoring it, and it's in a beautiful state now. I invite any of you that are interested, after I speak at some time in the future, to visit that and walk it. I would love to have that happen. In about 5 years after we bought the place, and we had planted several thousand trees already, I get a little emotional about this. My wife, I got a phone call. She was in an ambulance. She was going to Memorial Hospital in South Bend, and my office was in South Bend, and so I drove to the hospital, and I got there before the ambulance. I was in a room with a doctor who was corresponding with the ambulance EMT, and I heard that her heart stopped. Anyway, after 62 years, we're still together. They were able to bring her back. Her diagnosis was that she had an acute allergy to chemicals. They didn't know what all the chemicals were, but the ones they isolated were some type of herbicide and some kind of fertilizers, both that are probably used in lawn products. So, realizing that, we decided that we had to get the heck out of the neighborhood. We had to move someplace where this wasn't going to happen again. And so this 50 acres we had called to us, and we quickly got a contractor, and we built a home out there, and we moved out there. We put our house about 700 feet from the closest border, the closest road, and so on, so we wouldn't have any fumes or anything bother her. So we've done well. This is 2022. The Cass County Road Commission has announced to us that they want to put a road through our property. They want to take a shortcut. This is at the intersection of Gumwood and Redfield, and I know a lot of you have had problems waiting there and so on. We say at least we strongly protest this. This road is going to come relatively close to our house. This is a road that Michiana Recycling uses for all their trucks. All these diesels are going to be coming in there. There are other alternatives that has been studied, and part of them are referred to in some of these documents I've given you. When you have some problems sleeping, I invite you to read it. One of the alternate options are to put two roundabouts. The Cass County Road Commission already has permission to put one roundabout at Gumwood and Redfield, where Gumwood comes from Indiana. It's a three-legged roundabout. They want to put a fourth leg on that and take a shortcut through our property, which will take about 4 or 5 acres, and which will take another 10 acres of our property and separate it from our main body of our property. We won't be able to get to it without crossing over the new busy road. One of the options, and the best option, besides cutting through our place, is another roundabout where Gumwood goes to Highway 12 from Redfield. That roundabout is about 350. This is in 2014 dollars. It's about $351,000 less than cutting through our place. And they really have no idea what our place is valued at. Not that we want to sell it, we don't. We want to just be left alone. But right across the street from us now is Adams Road Development has got a development, and they're 1 acre, and some of them are a little bit bigger than 1 acre, but anyway, their lots, none of them are any cheaper than $100,000. So I don't think the road commission understands what they're going to be up against. And again, it's not that we want the money. We don't want any part of that, if humanly possible. But our kids are going to be the heirs of this property, and if the road commission is going to devalue it, then I think the road commission should be able to cough up enough money to give it to my kids down the line someday. Are there any questions I could answer for anyone?
No questions. Public comment, there's no back and forth.
I see. Okay. Well, anyway, I thank you for your time and appreciate being here.
Okay. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I do have a public comment. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be your chairman for the last 2 years. It's my last meeting. Special thanks to the Board of Commissioners, county staff, elected officials, county partners. Posthumously, I'd like to thank my mom and dad, Reverend Boston and Mrs. Dyes. My grandfather, who always told me that people will mistreat you, they will talk about you, might even lie on you, but your job is self-improvement. So I'd like to thank those people. Most of all, I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Wendy, who's my rock, in my soft place to land. And I'd like to thank Cass County for allowing me to be here. I probably, like most commissioners, I probably won't fade off into the sunset. I'm still board chairman at the ISD. I'm very into social justice awareness, but the biggest thing is I want to thank you for allowing me to grow in Cass County. So that's my public comment. Approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda with the amendment, addition of M243-22, which is a motion to schedule an organizational meeting of the Board of Commissioners for January 5th, 2023 at 5 p.m.
I'll second that.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Yes, Chair.
Commissioner Jones.
I would like to have another amendment to remove motion 238-22. If I have to do a motion, then I so move.
A second.
Vote on the motion is agenda is amended.
So a motion to amend.
Here's on the agenda by
It'd be a motion to amend the amended motion.
that support.
Yes.
It's been supported. Is there any discussion on that motion? No discussion. Vote on the motion as amended, right, Robert?
It's the motion to amend the motion. I do have a comment.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I support the motion only, in chatting with the library board, they weren't aware that this was coming up. They usually have input into the at-large, and there's some large concern about the fact that they've got a big project that's already been approved moving forward, and they want to make sure that they have the proper representation throughout the county, and especially as they're moving forward with the building project, which I don't know if we've discussed that, but it's been approved and is moving forward. So I'd like this deferred and have the appointments committee at least have a conversation with the Cass District Library Board, and so I support the motion to table this off.
Vote on the motion is amended, right? Which is basically the table motion. That's all you had discussion.
I have a question. We are now just going to vote on the motions on the floor about removing that one from the agenda. Is that my understanding, or are we going to different vote to approve the agenda as?
This is a vote to amend the agenda
The
to
agenda.
remove that motion.
Okay, thank you.
So all in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Now we're going on the motion. No, that's it.
No,
Then
we did the vote.
do you want a roll call vote?
You want a roll call vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, go ahead.
So a yes is to amend and remove motion 238, and a no is not to amend and to leave the motion on the agenda. Commissioner Benjamin,
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti,
No.
Commissioner Leyland,
No.
Chair Dice,
Yes.
Commissioner Bryce.
No.
And Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
So I have 3-3, and since it's a tie, it fails.
So it goes on, the
It stays on.
Stays on the agenda. Okay. Oh,
So motion to amend fails.
motion to amend failed. Now we go on the motion for the approval of the agenda. All in favor? Is there any discussion on that? No discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Motion amended has been agendaed. We have some recognitions tonight. Our Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes.
Okay, Cass County Board of Commissioner, R-243-22, recognition for years of service. Whereas Robert Benjamin was elected to the Cass County Board of Commissioners in 2018, and whereas Mr. Benjamin has served on the board for 4 years and presently represents District 5, and whereas Mr. Benjamin has represented the county and his constituents on many boards and commissions, including the Community Corrections Advisory Board, the Southwest Community Action Agency, the Salary Committee, the Policy Committee, as well as various others, and whereas Mr. Benjamin served as chair on the Board of Commissioners in 2019. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Cass County Board of Commissioners recognizes Mr. Benjamin for his years of service on the Board of Commissioners, and be it further resolved that the board wishes Commissioner Benjamin all the best in the years ahead. Adopted this 15th day of December 2022. And I move we approve this recognition.
Support.
Probably been moved and supported to support the resolution. Is there any discussion on this? Robert?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. You know, there's been a lot of people that have supported me over the years. Obviously, my family was here. Some of them that were just getting off work and weren't able to be here on time to see this. I want to thank Skip. Skip was the one that asked me to initially run for a county commissioner after a decade of service to Milton Township. I really appreciate all the residents of Milton over the years. It's amazing the people that have come out to give suggestions and help, you know, and I can't thank everybody. And every board member here and the previous board, I really appreciate the support. I wish Annie was here. She was very helpful in the first year too, so. But thank you.
Any other comments? I will say that Robert and I always get along great. Sometimes we don't agree, but we're always smiling and talking to each other afterwards. So it's very great to be around in Robert's corner. I mean, Robert, when I asked him to run, we talked a long time before that, and he's been everything I thought he would be. So, I mean, Robert's been great. Continue.
I get to make my comment. First of all, Robert helped us through a really, really rough patch that we had here. And I have said this over and over again, I will be eternally grateful for that. And he was always great on the other end of the phone if I had a parliamentarian question. So thank you for that, Robert.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Resolution, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Leyland,
Yes.
Chair Dice.
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin.
Yes.
Commissioner Bryce.
Yes.
And Commissioner Jones.
Yep.
Number 2.
Cass County Board of Commissioners Resolution 244-22, recognition for years of service. Whereas Dwight Dye was elected to Cass County Board of Commissioners in 2010, and whereas Mr. Dye has served on the board for 12 years and presently represents District 3, and whereas Mr. Dye has represented the county and its constituents on many boards and commissions, including the Van Buren Cass District Health Board, the Department of Human Services Board, Woodlands Behavioral Network Board, Southwest Michigan Solid Waste Consortium, Land Bank Authority, as well as various others. And whereas Mr. Dye served as chair of the Board of Commissioners in 2013, 2021, and 2022, and as vice chair in 2017. Now therefore be it resolved that the Cass County Board of Commissioners recognizes Mr. Dice for his years of service on the Board of Commissioners, and be it further resolved that the board wishes Commissioner Dice all the best in the years ahead. Adopted this 15th day of December 2022, and I so move.
Second.
Properly moved and supported. Any discussion on this Dice guy?
There you go.
Okay.
We gotta get Robert's picture too.
Thank you.
You just want to hold my hand.
Okay, I have a comment. Okay, so, Chairperson Dice and I came on the board together at the same time. And we've worked on various committees and boards. It goes on. And if there's anything about Skip that I know, and I know that most of the rest of you know as well, There ain't nobody who cares more for Cass County than Skip Downs. Amen.
Thank you, Rosa.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Yes.
Commissioner Grice?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yep.
Commissioner Leland?
Yes.
And Chair Dice.
Thank you, yes. Yeah, both of that. Okay, Commissioner Grice, no, Commissioner Jones, excuse me.
Cass County Board of Commissioners, R 234-22, recognition for years of service. Whereas Michael Grice was elected to Cass County Board of Commissioners in 2016, and whereas Mr. Grice has served on the board 6 years and presently represents District 6. And whereas Mr. Grice has represented the county and his constituents on many boards and commissions during the Cass County, including the Cass County Transportation Authority, Connexus, Woodlands, Behavioral Health Care Network Board, the Veterans Advisory Board with me, as well as several others. And whereas Mr. Grice served as Vice Chair on the Board of Commissioners in 21 and 22, now therefore be resolved that Cass County Board of Commissioners recognizes Mr. Grice for his years of service on the Board of Commissioners. And be it further resolved that the board wishes Commissioner Grice all the best in the years ahead. Adopted today, 15th of December 2022. So
Second.
moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion on this? Go ahead,
Can I get a picture of
I just want to say my appreciation for Mike. He's been a great partner. Our towns are right next to each other. We cover Howard together, and so we've got similar issues that we've had to face over the past 4 years. It's a pleasure. I hope that we stay in touch after our terms.
Mr.
Yes, I have to say that it's been a pleasure working with Mike, has served on the Connexus board. And from the first moment that Mike came on this board, he was prepared when he came and he asked questions. And that's a good thing for a commissioner. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
I'd like to say that when a couple years ago before the pandemic, we had a SMART committee, and I always rode with Mike. And it was always great because we could always talk about things that, just things. And so, Mike, it's been great just being in your corner and just talking to you about things that really matters. Most people never talk about. So, thanks a lot.
Thank you. I would just like to thank the people in District 6 that had the faith and trust in me to allow me to serve 3 terms on this board. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and I just want to say thank you. Also, this board and previous board, I think we have accomplished quite a bit, but there's a lot of work in front of us, in front of you guys. And the new commissioners coming in, my recommendation to you is, think about who elected you, that you work for them. Don't come in here with personal agendas, it doesn't work. You need to work with the people that supported you and elected you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, presentation, we have a roll call. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, Mike, I'm going to get it.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Yes.
Commissioner Grice?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yep.
Commissioner Leland?
Yes.
Chair Dice? And Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks from all 3 of us, I'm sure, 100%. So. Now we go to presentations. We have one presentation? Yes, go ahead.
Point of information. I have been told that the facilities have been locked and people weren't able to enter the building. I just want to check with administration to make sure that the facilities are open.
Yes, I believe we should be set now. I just checked with Jody and she is making sure everything is unlocked.
Oh, yeah, they locked at 5, doesn't it? I forgot about that. No, it's actually
It should have stayed.
Should have stayed open,
I'm
yeah.
not sure what the issue is, but
I guess it's been resolved. Thank you.
yes,
Thanks a lot.
it's resolved.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Now we have a presentation from veterans. Carrie? Yeah, there she is.
Excuse me, sir. No, you're fine. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody had a great day. First thing I'd like to do is thank Commissioner Jones for giving our report, the veterans report for the last 19 months. I really appreciate that. I just want to take a couple minutes and explain the great things that have been happening in the Veterans Office since I took over. We have been able to add 181 new veterans to our system that had never been registered before, had benefits, or even thought about having benefits. The Soldiers and Sailors Relief Board and myself have been able to help veterans and widows and widowers receive $2,854,118.82. That's compensation and pension. That's revenue that's coming back into our community each and every month. That has been life-changing for them. Can't tell you how many times I've called somebody to let them know what their retro payments are or what their benefits will be for the rest of their life. And on the other end of the phone, they start crying. You know, they're just like overwhelmed with it. Between October and November of this year, we increased their benefits $120,500.78 alone. That does not include the health care benefits and how that affects their quality of life, which you really can't put on health care. That's priceless. We work closely with the Treasurer's Office. Thank you. On programs that help the veterans in our community, which include delinquent property taxes. We are now working with the My Hope program, the CDBG. Okay, for emergency funding through the City of Dowagiac. We've just now processed our first application. We're waiting to hear how that comes out. The things we're working with the Treasurer's Office also includes their blight program. We help with disconnect, sharks cleanup. We're trying wells, roofs, hot water heaters, etc. Not only does this help the veterans, it gives them some pride back. And it also gives us all a better community to live in. Out of the $3,000 that the county has given the Soldiers and Sailors Relief for this fiscal year, excuse me, we have already spent $2,853.10, which now leaves us only with $146.90 for the rest of this fiscal year to help. I would also like to thank the clerk's office. I can not tell you how many times I've had veterans in the office and they didn't have the documentation they needed. So I run real quick down there. They've all stopped everything they're doing to help us find the documentation, which expedites their claims because then we're not working on the waiting on the paperwork. I think overall great things have been happening in the office since we took over and within the community. I'm excited to see what we can do for our future. Does anybody have questions?
Any questions? I knew you had. Go ahead.
Of course I did.
Oh, no.
So, we as a county give you $3,000 a year per fiscal year. How does that compare to other VSOs such as St. Joe, Indiana, St. Joe, Michigan, or just our neighboring counties? How do we compare with them?
Some of the neighboring counties have millages that support their soldiers and sailors. Some of them start off with a $30,000 budget per year, and that helps with emergent needs, disconnects where we don't quite have time to wait for another agency to approve something in 3 weeks. You know, they could have a shut-off by then, or their roof could be in worse repair, or their wells broke, things like that.
So out of that $3,000, we only have like $150 left.
Correct.
For the rest of the fiscal years from September to September.
Correct.
So by that, my next question would be, when are you going to submit the forms for us to up that monies given to our beloved Cass County veterans?
I did have a conversation with the administrator the other day, and we talked about what's needed for the future. And hopefully that will get on the docket so that we can continue to go forward. Right now on my desk, I have requests that I can't approve because we just don't have the money. That's been approved already from the Soldiers Relief Board.
I got one more here. Also, just a comment, I'd like to tell the public that Kareem, me and her, we served together in the military for probably, 15 years. So I've known her, and I kind of recommended, that she come here. She was the best fit. She not only helped me, she helped my son, my wife, my nephew, my stepdad, all the above, with my mother with a furnace, just got put in last week. So Korea's doing a very good job helping our veterans. We care for our own, and good job, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, I appreciate you.
Do you, is there any federal money that comes through for any, I mean, this is absolutely the only money that you get?
Correct. I've applied for a grant, and we use our grant money for dental program, transportation.
I know about the dental, yeah.
Transportation already went over their budget within 2 months of what we gave them this year. Was part of the grant money, we've done some office supplies. The TV is sitting downstairs ready to be mounted. Our budget was just very, very tight this year because the money had not gotten spent in the last 2 years. Yes, 2 years. So if we have to give money back, we get less money the next year.
That's why I tell people to get registered, because the more veterans we get in, the more money we can request
Right.
to help more people.
So who did you have to give money back to? Grant money? You had to give grant money?
Yes, I'd give grant money back to MBAA to the state. The only thing that saved us a little bit was at the end of the fiscal year, because transportation did not use all of theirs. I went and begged and asked them to use part of that money to pay some of the other bills that we still had outstanding so that the county didn't have to kick. Correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
How does one know if you're registered?
Okay. Proposed consent agenda.
Yeah.
Both consent agenda.
Okay. You're welcome.
Motion 235-22, motion to approve claim dated December 9th, 2022, and motion 236-22, motion to approve the December 1st, 2022 Board of Commissioners regular meeting minute. I move the above listed items be voted on by one time by roll call vote and considered as consent agenda by the Board of Commissioners.
Second.
Properly moved and supported for resolution. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bryce?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yep.
Commissioner Leyland?
Yes.
Chair Dice?
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
And Commissioner Belton?
Yes.
Resolution passes. Committee reports. District 1.
Nothing for me tonight.
Commissioner File is enjoying the sun in Florida. Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes. Commissioner Grace and I attended the Connexus meeting on December 2nd in Benton Harbor, and the audit review was first on the program and a clean audit was received. Now, the Connexus board asks the auditor to do a closer look because they received federal funds and they don't want any problems with the audit as far as receiving their federal funds. Like lots of other places, their employee turnover is at 22%, and a vice president of workforce development is being sought. Unemployment stands at 4.1% for the 3 counties, Cass, Van Buren, and Berrien. Reports were given by the subsidiaries, Michigan Works, Manufacturers Growth Alliance, Youth Solutions, and the Bridge Academy. Zach Morris of Market Van Buren, Market Van Buren does our economic development. You reported that Marcellus Metal Castings is expanding and has purchased a company in Ohio. There was a tour with Quentin Meisner. He's head of MEDC. Some Cass County manufacturers, MEC and also CHT and Hedro. A number of manufacturers in South Haven were also visited. Then this meeting was the last of the year, and the new board chair is George Salby, and he announced the next meeting will be March 3rd, 2023. The Board of Health met yesterday, and the new dental equipment is working out very well, and we have 4 dentists on staff. Van Buren and Cass are receiving funds for an informational campaign on marijuana, part of which is aimed at safety procedures and urging non-use for pregnant women. Rose Street has done a wage analysis, and they're studying that. Flu rates from the nursing director, flu rates continue to rise, and 2 nurses continue to learn about keeping infections low in long-term care facilities. Environmental Health has 4 new employees, and one will be very busy inspecting the more than 700 restaurants in Van Buren and Cass County. And that includes food trucks. Grocery stores. I found this kind of interesting because I did ask this question. I said, do you inspect grocery stores? Because they all sell food. And grocery stores with 50% devoted to selling prepared food are inspected by MDARD. Honored for their service on the Board of Health were 3 members, Vincent Cabrera, Skip Dice, and Don Hansen. Now, the Board of Health's next meeting is January 11th, 2023. And that's it. Nothing more.
Any questions for Commissioner Marquetti? Okay, Commissioner Benjamin.
My last committee is tomorrow, so I haven't updated this time.
Okay, thank you.
But I do have a question. Is that Southwest Michigan Community Action Agency?
Yeah.
Okay, so will you ask them, I know they got that $500,000 grant. Will you ask them how that was, okay, let me be blunt. Did any of that money go to Cass County?
That's been distributed yet, because that was, we announced that at the meeting before last that it was awarded, so I haven't seen that, but I can ask.
Well, we heard, because we asked
Okay.
about help for one of the veterans, and they said that all of the money had been promised to, so I just want to know if any of that money was promised to Cass.
Okay, I can ask that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Commissioner Rice.
Nothing to report at this time, sir.
Mr. Joe.
I can't follow Cree with the good job she did,
That's probably true.
but I will say, I met the Cass County Transportation Authority. We met the other day. It's an annual meeting that I'm included in because of the veteran status. And we're going to take a look at the budget, because we went over the budget in 2 months. And they said that for me to ask if anybody knows anybody who wants a job, they're hiring drivers. You know, at $15 an hour, part-time and full-time positions. And I encourage everybody to keep continuing to encourage our veterans to come and register, because the more veterans we have, the more ammunition we'll have against the feds to give us more money. That's all I got.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes, the jobs for Cass County Transport, how do they find out about those, or how do they apply?
They can go straight to the office
Oh,
and apply. They have to be able to, their biggest constraint is people passing the drug test.
oh, okay.
Because it's Michigan, but it's a 20 question test at the DMV, and to get your Class C license, but they're taking anybody between Class A and Class C license, but you have to be able to pass the drug test.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a question, Mr. Joe?
I just got a comment about my district.
Oh, okay.
I forgot.
Yep.
I just wanted to share to the board, everybody's aware, we've been looking for a CEO for Woodlands. We're down, we're bargaining right now for a gentleman, and should have good news coming soon. Hopefully by the end of this month, we should know more.
Good.
So we finalized and just offered a contract.
Cool.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Appointments Committee, anything from the Appointments Committee?
No report.
Okay,
Oh, yes, wait, excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. Everybody, all of the new commissioners and the old commissioners, I don't like to use that term, but anyway, please get your requests in about what boards and commissions that you have an interest in serving on, because Ryan and I we're gonna work to put that together.
Administrator.
Yeah, my report is in the packet. I'll add a couple of things. For Chair Dyes, Vice Chair Grice, Commissioner Benjamin, Commissioner File who's not here, I would echo the sentiments of the resolutions and say it's been a pleasure working with all of you. I've learned a lot in my year and a half here, and it's been a great experience interacting with all of you, and so I wish you all the best. Holiday party last week went really well. I think it was a great turnout of the staff, and I'd like to thank everybody who attended. Our door decorating contest starts tomorrow, so I'm excited to see how everybody does with that. I think you mentioned the information campaign with the health department for marijuana. I know we're working with Danielle on trying to get the funding set for that as well. So we're excited to see that come through. Last thing I'll say is just Merry Christmas to everybody.
Any questions for the administrator? Okay, financial report. Oh, there she is.
My report's in the packet. I just wanted to say a few things. I have hired a deputy finance director. I brought him, his name is James Tito, also known as JR. So if anybody has any questions or want to introduce themselves, I've tried to do my best as I've seen commissioners and try and introduce them. And just another note that the audit is, they've already came once. They will be back in the middle of January, so it's a very busy time for us right now.
Thank you.
And he's an Army guy, right?
He is.
All right.
Not a Notre Dame fan, is he?
He is.
Oh, you're fired.
Okay, Commissioner Benjamin, go ahead.
There's no perfect.
Yeah, I have several questions over the financial reports. No, just, thank you. Thank you for the work that you've done since you've taken office and helping parse through some of the issues that the board has faced. So very appreciative. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Okay. County partners, do we have any county partners here today? Yes.
Good evening. Thank you guys all for your time. I'll be brief, and I'll be way less than 5 minutes. My name is Jake Young. I started yesterday as the new executive director for the Cass County Conservation District. Just learned about this meeting about 24 hours ago and thought I should probably come meet all of you. Really looking forward to the opportunity of working with the community in the environmental space. You know, clean water and clean soil is important to everybody. My wife and I moved over to Newburgh Township in 2020. We bought a property in 2015, and it took a little while to get livable, but we've been there since March 2020 and have really been loving it. Coincidentally, she helped us win a Shoreline Stewardship Award from the Conservation District for naturalizing our entire shoreline, which is becoming contagious with our neighbors, which is kind of cool to see. My goals are to grow the programming and services for county residents. I'm hearing a lot of funding issues, and I can tell you that the funding there is also an issue. I've already been in touch with some neighboring conservation districts who have, budgets 5-10 times ours, and so I will be working to secure funding, whatever that may be, grants, donations, etc. But if any of you have creative ideas, I'd love to collaborate. We do need a water quality technician right away in the county. We don't have one. We have 122 lakes, countless streams, and it's groundwater and surface water. So we have that need immediately, but we can't fund that right now. And then speaking of water, if you have well water and would like it tested, the Conservation District is offering free testing tomorrow from 10 a.m. to noon at the COA. We will be doing this quarterly, so if you can't do it with that short of notice, I get it, but it is a free program to make sure everyone's well water is safe and healthy. And so just wanted to introduce myself and look forward to meeting all of you and working with you. Yeah.
Go ahead, Robert.
Go ahead, Robert. No.
Yeah, so there is a pollution plume in the water system over in Milton, close to the border over in Howard.
Okay.
It would, I think, be beneficial for both Howard and Milton, as well as this board, to have an update on that. There are some permanent sites that we can't have building in. The state, due to funding, stepped away from being able to put anything in that. I'm not sure how many testing wells are still there.
Okay.
But now that you're stepping into office, it'd be probably good for you to become familiar with it.
Absolutely.
And maybe give us an update on that.
Okay.
I know Milton's board would appreciate an update.
Great, thank you.
I just wanted to say thanks for coming tonight and welcome aboard.
Thank you, thanks for welcoming me.
Any other county partners? Okay. Any elected officials? Oh, county partner?
Yeah, Jeff's going. Go ahead, Jeff. I don't know. I was going under elected there, Mr. Chair. Evening, Commissioners. You have before you today a resolution to approve the salaries for your elected officials. And it's my understanding that all the county employees and all the elected officials received raises this year except 3, myself included. I'm here to tell you that that feels arbitrary. And your sheriff and your prosecutor are not here today, so I'm not speaking for them, I'm speaking for myself. But I want to tell you that what I envision Cass County government is people. People are what's going to take this forward. Department heads and elected officials are integral in that process. And they're going to be integral in the process in the future when eventual belt tightening needs to take place. Thank you. Now. Good job, Jeff.
As you know, Jeff is our new neighbor, 2 doors down. We enjoy him immensely and have done a lot of things with the Drain Commissioner's office that have not been done before, and we're both proud of that. Just a quick report. I want to recognize also the board that we've been able to work with. We also have accomplished things that have not been accomplished before collectively. And I'm most proud of the fact that we've accomplished things that many other counties have not accomplished. And everyone should be really glad and happy about that for our county, because it's real and we've done things that we are all proud of. So thank you for the working relationship. And it goes without saying in my book that I'm looking forward to the coordinated orientation that Matt is putting together. As I said, I want to make sure that we have an opportunity for all the new board members to get to know the road commission, its facilities, its people, what it does, where its funding comes from, where its funding goes. Those are all important building blocks for all of us in our effort to move forward and continue to do the collaboration that's begun and make more good things happen for Cass County. So I'm looking forward to that. We have completed 13 of our township road tours. We have 2 more, one tomorrow and one Saturday. This is an exercise that has been so well received. The townships very much enjoy that. Getting out with us and looking at problems, looking at future projects, identifying needs, putting costs and estimates together for them for their consideration. It's been a real win-win for the county when it comes to its road system, and we appreciate their participation. This year, I just want to know, with Mr. Gerba's comments, we are brush cutting in District 3. And then we follow that up with roadside spraying. And I have noted the concerns that he's expressed not only this evening, but in other settings that I've witnessed his sharing, his wife's challenges. And we will make every effort to absolutely not spray in the area that might affect your wife's health. And you have my promise on that. You betcha. You deserve it. Yeah, you deserve it. We've done a lot of work on culverts.
We're really ready for snow this time. And of course, I can't help but tell you that the forecast calls for a lot of snow just before the holidays when we're supposed to be on vacation too. But that's okay, we'll respond. In closing, anyone that knows me knows that you'll be hard pressed to beat the compassion that I have for people. And while I'm very limited on what I can comment on in regards to the roundabout and the challenges that we face in making that happen, I can assure you that with my involvement, those challenges will be worked out, and I believe that the end result will be a solution that finds all parties agreeable and amenable to make that project happen in the best interest of the county and in the best interest of the individual parties that are directly involved. And I make that pledge to you and to the public, and more importantly, to Mr. Gerbeth. He has become a person that I think a lot about just in the relatively short time that I have gotten to know him. And that's how I operate, you know that. And I will not I will not take any other approach in working that situation out. Thank you.
Thank you. The elected officials.
Hello. The update today from the Treasurer's Office is regarding principal residence exemptions. I mentioned to you a couple months ago that we've seen a drastic increase in denials from the state of Michigan. As the statistics that I've gathered show that in 2019 we had 55 denials from the state of Michigan. In 2020 we received 76. In 2021 we've received 100. And this year we've received 373. Those are denials in the county that will result in additional funds going to our schools. And I'll give you a summary of what that looks like for this year. It's a total of $886,000, additional dollars that will go to our schools. Now, some of these are still in appeal process. I don't have jurisdiction over the appeal, but once I bill the homeowners, they can appeal to the state of Michigan. So that number could fluctuate slightly, but we're looking at for Cass schools, $172,000. $234,000 for Edwardsburg schools, $172,000 for Dowagiac schools, $153,000. Again, that's just the denials, PRE denials for this year. That isn't a lot of additional work for my office, but it also results in disbursements of interest on those to the county, to the state of Michigan, and to the local jurisdictions. Does anybody have any questions on the principal residency?
Just $172,000 for Edwardsburg, is that what you said?
Yeah, so a total of $172,000. Of that, I've already received $99,000 of it, but that whole payoff will happen when I do a settlement in March and April. So at that point, any of those taxpayers who haven't paid, I will still advance the money to the schools, and then I will roll those dollars into our delinquent system and collect it over the next couple of years.
Okay, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for that? Go ahead.
I just hope, could you share with this board our blighted meeting the other day, that identified the 55 properties or whatever that number was, and the little bit of money we got for a grant that you'll be applying for more, and we pared down. Could you share that a little bit?
I'd be happy to. This is as a result of the Cass County Land Bank Authority. We have a grant for $200,000 for blight elimination activities in the county. Our strategy for identifying parcels that had that need in the county meant we shared with every local jurisdiction. Every single local jurisdiction had the opportunity to present their list of blighted properties. We had a total of 55 that came in. It's a difficult process. They couldn't just give me a parcel number because as part of the grant application, there's a lot of information that's required. So again, that's 55 parcels. Most of them require demolition work. Some of them have been vacant properties for 25, 50 years. Some of the problems that were identified are, you've got people, what do you call it, when they live in there and they shouldn't be in there? The squatters, yes. We have a lot of parcels in the county with squatters. You've got unsafe properties. You've got properties that are bringing down the values of their neighbors. So our land bank now is tasked of taking that list of 55 and prioritizing it. So we took that big step on last Thursday, and we've identified, I think it was about a dozen parcels that'll be in the first round, but then after that we will apply competitively for additional monies from the state land bank, and then and beyond that, brownfield monies. I mean, now we are ready. I feel like the county is ready to really address this issue and to help our local jurisdiction accomplish this. Now keep in mind that the land bank is taking over something that the county treasurer used to be able to do. So a local jurisdiction would demolish a property. They bill the taxpayer doesn't pay it. They put it on the tax bill. The tax bill then rolls delinquent because the homeowner is still not paying it. The county treasurer then pays out that local jurisdiction, so they get their $10,000 for the demolition. But now that I can't use excess proceeds from another sale to cover that parcel when it forecloses in 2 more years and doesn't sell for $20,000 because it's a vacant parcel, then I've got to charge back the local unit. So it's even more of a risk now for our local units to address the blight in their local in their jurisdictions. It's much higher risk. So this is where our land bank is going to be able to now pick up the slack. We're going to be able to help our local units with addressing blight.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other elected officials? Unfinished business? We have no unfinished business. We'll go to new business. Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes, M237-22 is a motion to appoint Joseph Gross to the Cass District Library Board to a 4-year term ending in 12/31/2026. He will be representing Ontville, Calvin, and Porter Townships, and I move we approve this motion.
Support.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion on the motion? Not, we'll vote. All in favor? Oh, Commissioner, go ahead.
Yeah, so did Antoine, Calvin, or Porter have any input into?
Joseph Gross was already on the board, and it is our job to appoint this particular person, and oftentimes the township will recommend someone. In this case, since he was already on the board, we got a real push from the library to reappoint him, and we had it posted for 10 days on our website, and it was posted on their website as well. And so then after the posting, we moved to appoint.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Mr. Leyland.
Motion 238-22 is motion to appoint Jeff Carmen to the Cass District Library Board to an unexpired term ending 12/31/24, representing the county at large. I so move.
Second.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just, for years, we have engaged the library board for input on their needs and this particular position because it's county at large. In chatting with the library, they weren't aware that this was coming up. They weren't aware that this was on the agenda today, so they didn't have any input into it. I'm very concerned that the county is going to create some strain in the relationship with the library board, and I would say I'm not against the person, but I am against that this should have the library board's participation in it. And So with that, I'm gonna make a motion to table M 23822 to the next meeting.
Support.
Should we let all the boards pick who they get to choose for their board members?
This is a non-debatable motion.
It's a table. Properly moved to support the table.
It stops all.
All debate.
All debate.
And properly moved supported to table this motion until the next meeting?
Right.
Any other discussion? No, it's no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Roll call,
Aye,
please.
roll call. Want a roll call? Okay, roll call.
Motion to table, Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Grice.
No.
Chair Dice.
Yes.
Commissioner Leyland.
No.
Commissioner Marquetti.
No.
And Commissioner Benjamin.
Yes.
I have 3 yes and 3 no. So motion fails.
Okay, so the motion is still on the floor. Any other discussion on the motion? Let's go
I have
ahead.
a question. What's the difference between the first one, he has a 4-year term, this one is an unexpired term? Is that
The
because
person resigned, this position's filling, the previous person resigned. It's
And that's
been
what that
vacant
is?
for,
It's been vacant for like 6, maybe 7 months, and when it was posted, Jeff applied, and we're like, oh, it's been vacant for 7 months, so
Yeah.
yay.
Okay.
Any other discussion? We're gonna vote on this motion. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, again, I'm not opposed to the person, I'm opposed to the process.
Process.
And so I'm opposed to this motion because we need to follow process. As one of the commissioners asked, no, I don't think that we have to go to all the boards and ask, but when you've done it for years, I think it's disrespectful that you don't even tell them that we're gonna change the process. We saw the impacts of that when we did that to Woodlands, but we're kind of sending a message. I don't know of any message that our board's trying to send to the library. There hasn't been anything that the library has done that we're trying to send a message that we do not want to partner with you or, to get your input on who should be on the board. Again, this candidate might be, the best candidate on it, but I know I've chatted with, the library board and they were stunned by the fact that they weren't included and weren't aware of this meeting until yesterday.
Any other discussion? Go ahead.
so the library board had a person that currently sits on their board that was picked by Howard Township, one of the founding members of the library board. And she plans to move in a year or 2 and wanted the at-large seat in preparations of moving in a year or 2. And we chose not to make that move because she's currently on that board picked by Howard Township.
Representing Howard Township. Lives in Howard Township. We had an opportunity to put someone on, and since the position had been vacant for 7 months, we hadn't heard anything from the library. Of course, they have been busy, I give them that. They're building a new building and they had a millage, but we felt we were doing the right thing by filling a position with someone we know who would certainly represent, as you say, you have nothing against the person who certainly would represent the county at large.
Any other discussion? Are we gonna vote on this as a roll call vote?
Yes, please.
So, yes means, wait a minute, does everybody understand what the vote means here?
Yes means you will appoint Jeff Carmen to the unexpired term.
No means you won't. Okay.
Chair.
Yes, yes. Go
And
ahead.
I just say, this doesn't mean that this motion, if it failed, couldn't be brought up at the next board meeting. And I would suggest that, and gives you 3 weeks to have a conversation with the library board, or at least at a minimum, Barbara, at the board meeting.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Commissioner Grice?
Yes.
Chair Dice?
No.
Commissioner Leyland?
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin?
No.
Commissioner Jones?
Nope.
Okay, so we have 3 to 3, so the motion fails.
Okay.
He is not appointed.
Okay. Next motion.
239-22 is a resolution to approve the settlement agreement, Wayside Church versus Van Buren County, Western District of Michigan, case number 14-CB-01274. And I move we approve this resolution. We spoken to Hope about it, and does anyone want me to read the resolution? I'd be happy to.
The resolution's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Leyland?
Yes.
Chair Dyes?
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin? And Commissioner Bryce?
Yes.
Resolution passes. Commissioner Leyland?
R 240-22 is a resolution in support of the Van Cass Heritage Trail Spark Grant proposed by the Village of Vandalia. So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. This resolution, any discussion on this resolution? Yes, no discussion? Madam Clerk?
Chair Dyes?
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Yes.
Commissioner Bryce?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
And Commissioner Leyland?
Yes.
Resolution passes. Commissioner Jones?
241-22 is a motion to approve budget amendments as presented. So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and supported. Any discussion on the motion? There's no discussion, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. Resolution number, Vice Chair Grace.
Resolution 242-22, a resolution approving the 2023 annual salaries of county elected officials. Whereas the ad hoc salary committee comprised of Chair Dye, Vice Chair Grice, and Commissioner Leyland, and whereas the committee is charged with the responsibility of recommending the 2023 annual salaries for elected officials serving Cass County, and whereas the committee recommends the 2023 annual salaries of the Cass County officials as set forth below. Prosecutor for 2023, $122,257. The sheriff for 2023, $102,397. The clerk register for 2023, $81,754. The treasurer for 2023 will be $80,048. The drain commissioner for 2023 will be $67,153. Now therefore be resolved, the Cass County Board of Commissioners, that the above scheduled proposed 2023 salaries as recommended by committee is hereby approved.
Support? Properly moved and supported. Any discussion on the resolution? Yes.
So, do we have anything in plans for the sheriff, the prosecutor, and our drain commissioner?
That was a recommendation from the salary committee.
So I guess, that seems arbitrary, because I'm not on that committee, and that's sending a message. So I would hope that we have something planned for them, or how did that even happen where those three officers were forgotten?
Last December we voted through. I don't remember the exact percentages.
I can share that. Starting first of the year here, the prosecutor got a 19.56% wage increase. The sheriff got a 17.17% wage increase. The clerk register got a 14.42. The treasurer got a 14.77, and the drain commissioner got a 17.50. So to bring them all into the 17 window, that's why we did the 3% for the clerk and treasurer. Across the board.
Got it.
Any other discussion on the resolution? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I had mentioned before that I'm opposed to these increases in salaries, except for if it's regarding a union negotiation or if it's a change in duties like we just recently had with some IT staff. I feel like these salary increases should be happening in alignment with our budget discussions. And again, I think that the elected officials do a great job, but we have a cycle on how we deal with these things. So I am opposed to this motion based off of that, and that's all I have. Thanks.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Leyland,
Yes.
Chair Dines,
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti,
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin,
No.
Commissioner Grice,
Yes.
and Commissioner Jones.
Yep.
Resolution passes. You have a motion, in 24322, was that a sign?
I'll read it. M 243-22 is a motion to schedule organizational meeting of the Board of Commissioners for January 5th, 2023 at 5 PM. I so move.
Second.
Properly moved and supported, is there any discussion on this motion? Yes, Commissioner Benjamin.
Yeah, is this been discussed with the new officials to make sure that it's proper time for them? I assume it's our regular meeting, but I don't know if that's been discussed with administration or anyone.
But
Nothing was ever discussed with me when I was a commissioner-elect.
it's basically, that's the regular meeting.
Oh, God, thanks.
Yeah, go ahead. Any other discussion on the motion? Now we'll vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Board member comments, yes, go ahead.
I just want to reiterate, thank you, everyone. You guys have always been well together when we go against each other, have different ideas. You've been very respectful, and I hope that I've been the same to you. So again, thank you for listening to the different issues that Milton and Howard have, and give all prayers to our incoming commission that's covering, I think, District 6 now, so.
The other, this,
Yeah.
just go ahead.
If everybody look at our shirt, this is what we got from the Veterans Administration. And I'd like to give Mike Grice one because I've served with him for the last 2 years, but it has veteran on the side, and I don't want him to get beat up by somebody thinking he's perpetrating, so we're gonna work and get you one without the veteran on it, but it'll have everything else on there in all its glory, and present it to him at a later date.
Thank you.
Any other,
Motion to adjourn.
wait a minute.
Oh,
There's nothing better
oh,
to serve in your community. That's what we've done. So I just want you to know that, once again, thanks about you. And that's all I got. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
wait.
I want to say something. So, when Skip and I came on board, one of our goals was a good relationship with the townships. And we have that. And we do. We get a lot of the townships to supervisors meetings, etc. So keep in mind that these are the guys who elected you. So you want to give back.
Now I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
yeah.
Probably moved and seconded.